Hey guys and gals, welcome back. Oh, it's another exceptionally hot day here in the San Joaquin Valley in California, and we're moving forward. Next week, it's crazy, this summer went so fast. Next week I have to start prepping for students. The week after that we get students, so we as teachers have to be back next week. So trying to get done everything that I possibly can get done with the heat the way that it is right now. So just pushing in. It seems like the summer's gone so fast this year. I think it's because of the heat, but man, it's just ripped by. So today I'm going to be working on, I already did some work. I'll show you what I did already this morning, but this video is going to be about the putting DEI header wrap on headers, or DEI heat resistant wrap on headers. So gonna do that, and yeah, go through that. Shouldn't take that long. I mean, it takes a while to get it done, but it shouldn't be a super long video. Let me show you guys really quick what I did this morning, and then we'll go. This morning I took all of the electrical fittings off of the coil here and redid them with heat wrap or heat shrink, and did the front and the back. I cut them off, shortened the wires, and put new ends on them. Those American Auto Wire crimpers are phenomenal. Those things are just, they give it the perfect crimp. So I did the one in the back here. That one's redone. Let's see if I can get around so you guys can see that. So I did that with heat shrink, and then I did these two guys, redid them so it looks nice. I wrapped the yellow wire, I cut it, made it a little shorter, and then I put the loom tape on it coming down right here. So the loom tape, so everything's, all the wires now have loom tape on them again. Don't have any funky, just weird wires, other than this is, I believe all of these wires, they were like this when I got him. These all went to the AC unit, I believe, and everything. That was all removed when I got him. But I have all the pieces, which is fantastic, so I just have to figure out where they all go. I do have one right here that I'm not quite sure where it goes, so any of you guys in the comments, if you want to explain where this guy goes, I don't know where it goes. So I've got this wire right here, so I just tucked him in the back there. And the other thing I did this morning was ordered from Summit. I ordered the heat sensor. So my original heat sensor end, the plastic end right here, was melted completely, and it wouldn't stick on or anything like that. So what I did was I reran the wire so it didn't come over the headers, it comes up underneath. I have wire loom on it, the heat resistant wire loom, and I crimped and put on the new piece. The Summit kit comes with a couple different pieces. It's actually, the kit's for a Camaro, but works on small blocks, whichever small block you want to use it on, or Chevrolet small block. So this particular one slides up and clicks in place. It's solid now, so fantastic, super stoked, and that's taken care of. So with that done, now we need to get the header on this side and then start building the exhaust. So let's go get that wrap done. It's not super difficult to put the wrap on. DEI has really good instructional video. I'll put it down below in the description. But I'm using the black titanium, and it's the titanium wrap, and they say it's made out of volcanic pieces and so forth. It's still like fiberglass. I have to wear, the first one I did, I was wearing shorts, short sleeve shirt, and it, just like fiberglass, got everywhere, itched like crazy. So if you're gonna do it, if you haven't worked with fiberglass before, make sure you cover up, because those little strands are gonna get into everything. So yeah, just make sure you're covered up and ready to go. I've got a thick shirt on. I'm gonna wear gloves, and then that'll get me going. I can work on it from there. So what you want to do with the wrap, and it comes in a spool like this. I mean, it comes in a bunch of different lengths and things that you can get, but that's what it looks like. I did get one of these spools from Amazon, and somebody had taken it out of the wrapping, took out like 25 feet, and then loosened it all up so that it filled the inside and sent it back, and that's what I ended up getting. So I was a little upset. Sent that one back. Was able to get this guy from Summit. I already used one of them, or most of one of them. When you're putting the wrap on, after making sure that you're covered and not going to have stuff all over you, is you want to make sure that you plan it out. So, and you'll see, I'll go through what I'm doing, but you want to look at each one of the tubes and see how you're going to connect it. You're going to do one lead, then another lead, and then one goes over the top and they'll do the other. So I'll talk about that as I start to go through the process of doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and put on my gloves and get all ready. But tools that you're going to need, you need the wrap, you need your header, whatever you're wrapping. I mean, you can wrap your starter or whatever, it's just heat wrap. This little tool from DEI is awesome. Actually, it doesn't have that ending that comes on it. That's mine, but it just goes into a little socket, and what it does is you use this to get tension on these ties. I got this set of 50 on Amazon of just stainless steel ties, and this allows you to really torque them down and get a really good fasten at the end of it. So that's what I'd recommend. Make sure you buy that. I don't know, it's like 10 bucks or something like that. This little guy, you got your wrap, some scissors, and there you go. Here I am, guys. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start measuring this out. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is I'm going to look at this guy, and I'm going to see my clearances. You guys see that? There we go. All right, I'm going to see my clearances and see where can I wrap. So it looks like this one I can wrap from that spot right there all the way up to here. You want to give yourself a little bit of room on the end of the header for the bolt to go in. You don't want to put a lot of, you guys can see this probably right here. Hedman, they went in here and they put a divot in here so you can get the bolt in. You don't want this heat wrap there because it's going to make it difficult for you to get the bolt in. I'd also remember, if you have tight bolts to get in, put them in before you put the headers on. Then when you put the headers up there, you're not trying to, fit it in. You already have it in place, the bolt in place, and you can just put it right in. So I can see this one. I'm going to be able to go from about this spot right here down to here. These guys right here, these two, I'm going to wrap together, and it looks like I have clearance right here. You guys see that? Right in between here. I'm going to have to see what I'm going to try wrapping this one by itself, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to wrap these two. What might end up happening once I start, so planning is the most important right from the beginning, where you have your protection on, and then you really just want to plan this out. You want to say, all right, now how am I going to stretch this one? Now I can see, like I said, this one, it looks like I can fit all the way around, but this gap is going to be really close for getting two pieces widths on top of each other. So I'm going to have to kind of see how that plays out. But my preliminary plan here is I'm going to do this tube by itself. I'm going to do this tube from here, so from this part up, and then I'm going to do these two. Now when I do these two right here, what I'll do is I'm going to come around the bottom. I'll come from the bottom, and I'm going to come up. I'm going to come over this one. So I'll do this one first, then I'll come over the wrap that's already on this one right here. So this one will go from here up. So I'll start on the bottom, I'll come up, I'll go around this one, around the bottom that's already done, and then I will break off into these two. So it'll go around the whole thing, it'll go around here, and then it'll break off onto these two and follow up to this guy. This guy will be done by itself down to here, so when I'm going around, it's going to break off right here, and it's just going to do these three at that point. Okay, so once you have that plan in your head, then what you want to do is you want to get the wrap. Here's my wrap. You guys, hope you guys can see that. And let me do this little one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just double it up and say that that's one bend. Okay, and I forget on the video what they say. You want, I don't know, 75% coverage and then you go on to the next one like this. So, or less than that. I usually do about 50. So I don't know, do however you would like, but like I said, I'll include the video. So what I'm going to do once again is I'm just going to make these little loops like this, starting at where I'm going to start, and then I'm just going to keep looping it over until I get to where I want it to be. And I think that's going to be it. I'm going to do one more extra just so that I've got that there. So it looks like that should cover it. It's always nice to have a little bit extra just in case. So I might do one more loop just in case I want to make it a little tighter or bring it up closer. So I think that's going to be it right there. Then from there, what I'll do is I'll cut it. Nice and straight. And then at the end, what you want to do is you want to get rid of all these little guys. Like I said, these strands are going to get everywhere, so make sure that you cover yourself. And then you're going to fold it into a triangle like this, and then back over on itself so it's flat. Okay. Now, if you do, they talk about this on their video. If you do have like chrome headers, it might be difficult for you to get a start, like it won't hold. So you might have to put a strap at the beginning. If you don't, and it has a little grip, like these are powder coated, and it has a little bit of a grip on it, then you might be just fine when you start your original. Make sure it's tight, you know, hold it on there really tight. And then this bottom a lot of times will just hold itself. Now I'm going to go pull it down just a little bit farther here. There we go. And then bring it around. Man, it's a lot better with gloves. Oh man, I didn't have the gloves on. It did not feel the best. That's for sure. Like this, just bringing it around. Pulling it real tight. This bottom is actually holding itself, which is nice at this point. Remember, I want to leave a little bit at the top for my bolts. And I'm covering, I hope you guys can see that, I'm covering about, like I said, about 50 to 75%. And then I'm going to come up like this, and I'm going to, at the end, I'm going to do that same little square that I did last time. And then that's when I'll run my cord over the top of that. So I'll get one of my stainless steel guys here, pinch it into a triangle, and then roll it back down on itself so it's nice and flat. Work on this here. There we go. All right, that's better. Now, if I wanted to, I can pull it up a little bit now before everything gets, I can see, I want it to come up a little bit farther. So I'm going to loosen the wrap up a little bit and change my coverage. So it's just a little over like this. So I want it to come up a little bit farther than it was. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. Okay. I have plenty of room for everything. I'm going to trim these frayed ends off. Nice and straight. fold it in on itself, fold it down and over like this, and then there we go. Okay, now from here, and when I put mine on, I want the slack or the extra to be down below, so I'm going to make sure that I feed it through with it coming down. Because I don't want to see that big old piece there. I want that to be down at the bottom so people can't see that. So I'm going to hide that right underneath there like that. Okay, now that's when this little guy comes in handy, which is pretty cool. Just stick him on here like this, if I can get it on there, and then you just twist it with your ratchet, and that's going to tighten it up. You guys can see that. Now you can put, I did on one of them, I put too much torque and I just blew the little thing out. So just enough so it's holding it really tight. There we go. When that's sitting there, you won't see any of this part. This bottom piece down here, oh, you do need to have tin snips. So this bottom piece down here, right here, what I'll do is I'll just clip that and fold it down, and it's good to go. So what I did was I used my needle nose and just some clamping flat pliers, and then I folded this end in. I hope you guys can see that. I just folded that little end over so it's not sharp or anything. All right. Okay, so this end's down. This end is going to be held also with that other wrap that comes across it, so I don't have to worry about putting a strap on that. This part's down. Now I'm going to do this one and this one. Same thing. And I'll come back once I've got it pretty much, at least when I have this one. So I'm checking this gap right here on the headers. And just with one wrap, it's not going to work. Doing this one individually is not going to work. So what I'll end up doing then is I'm just going to do a short wrap on this one, take it down to probably right about here. And then I'll do the whole thing up, and then I'll split off to these two up at the top. I'll split off to these two guys right here. So so this will all be one unit, this will be one, and that'll be one. So that's what I think I'm going to do. This is what I mean about cutting them with the, and then using the flat pliers on it. So once you've twisted it, this little guy leaves this really cool little loop in here. Just cut the bottom of the loop right there, and then take my flat pliers and I just squish that down, push it down, and then there aren't any sharp edges at all to be hit. And there we go. So those two are done. So now I'm just going to wrap up the center, and the center will include this guy right here with it. So all right, so what I'll do is I'll just measure out, I'll wrap these tubes here. Like I said, I'll break off once I get around this one, then I'll break off and just do these tubes, and then from here I'll break off and then just do these tubes. So these guys will come up to here. So we'll go from here, these 4, 3, and then 2. And that's the plan. So this is my plan for the center. I have it all just kind of measured out. I always give myself about 2 or 3 extra little loops just in case. Rather have a little bit more than not enough. And then from there, then I just cut it and hold it real tight at the bottom, wrap it, and then go from there. Cool. So the hardest part of this whole process is getting around bends and keeping the fabric taut. So just take your time and it'll work out just fine. There's a couple areas down here I just really had to double up on, and I'm gonna have to get that, make sure I have room for the threads to come through there, for the bolt that comes through there. But like I said, this area right down here, there's a lot of slack down there. This guy should be pulled down a little bit. There we go. So that's all covered. So, but yeah, if you take your time, then everything will work out. It's not that bad. You can see the little fibers there. Oh man, they get everywhere. They are all over the place. And I vacuumed this once already. So anyway, guys, not too shabby. It turned out nice. I like it, at least. I guess that's all that matters. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for checking out this little video. And please like and subscribe. Check out the other YouTube channels I have below, and I'll include the DEI instructions on how to do this as well. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.